Today we are going to discuss about scoop commands, and one is scoop import and as well as the scoop export. So here I'm going to, my objective is I'm going to create a database in MySQL. First I'm going to connect the database MySQL, and once I connect it, I am going to create a database with the name of test scoop. Once I create it, and I am going to create table country, and I'm going to insert the data. First, let's connect with MySQL. Yes, now we connected MySQL. I'm checking the database names. So these are the available databases. I'm going to create database test scoop. Test scoop. Check and use the test scoop database I created. I am using the test scoop database schema. Okay. So under this schema, I am going to create a table country. Show tables. Country table is created, and describe so it has 3 columns: ID, country name, and the code. Okay, and insert the data. So I'm giving ID 10, and USA is the country name, US is the country code. And I'm going to create another record, country code, and United Kingdom, and the ID is unique. So now we created 2 records, and select country, and we have 2 records which is created here. And now first I'm going to, so I can keep this in a separate terminal, and let's try to open another terminal. Now let's see here, I'm going to use scoop import. Scoop import means I am going to import country data. I'm going to load this country data into Hadoop distributed file system under this directory. First of all, scoop import, and I'm connecting to the database MySQL and with a schema called test scoop, and I'm providing username and the password on the table country, and the table name is country. And in this directory in the Hadoop data file system, it is going to load it, and let's run it. So the scoop command is executing, and if you look into carefully, so it's trying to connecting the MySQL database and gather the metadata information, and then this is going to submit it to the Hadoop environment with scope. And once it's submitted to the Hadoop clustered environment, and it gathers the corresponding data from the MySQL, and it will be distributed into the Hadoop distributed storage. And still it's processing here, and it is going to submit it only map only. General, it's a map reduce, so we are not performing any of the aggregation operations here. So we are just submitting, the scoop submitted just map only job to the Hadoop cluster. So if you look into in the execution process here, there are 4 splits. It means that there are 4 maps. So it's distributed into 4 files. 4 mappers will be stored into the number of splits 4 from 10, and the map reduce job submitter number of splits is 2, and the split size is 0 on the number of splits. So the number of splits as per the job submitter is 2. Okay, there are 2 splits, and see here the map and reduce is started, and map is 100%, reduce is 0%. It means that we are scoop submitted only map jobs. So successfully 100% is completed this particular job. And it's very clearly mentioning that there are 2 records, retrieve 2 records from the MySQL to Hadoop distributed file system. So let's check. Now our directory is test scoop, and check is the test scoop is there or not. So let's run again. So test scoop is created, and check what are the files it's created under the test scope. So under the test scope, it's successfully completed, and that's why it's showing the test success. And there are 2 part M0000, and another one is part M00001. So there are 2 splits. It's very clearly saying that the scoop job is submitted and its number of splits is 2. Don't consider this one. And this is the one. So the job submitted is number of splits. Okay. And then let's see what is the content. Part M, and to see the content, as we know that in the Linux environment we use the cat. So same thing here, you can use the cat. See, this is the first record, 10 US. That's the record where you can able to see here. And in the second split, let's check the second split. So in the second record, in the second split, we can see the second record. Now, so what we done is, so we created a table in the MySQL RDBMS. We loaded the data into this particular table. And from RDBMS2, we are loading this data into the HDFS. So this is the HDFS. That's where we are seeing the data. So we successfully done this job. And also let's see the web console. Come here. And test scoop, this is here. So we can see even in the web console, this is where the Hadoop environment where you can able to see there are 2 splits. We can able to see the content here. Save that. and open here. See, we can see the first record here. And we can also see the second split here, and download and save and open. You can see the second record. So this is how the import is going to work. And then now let's see the export, how it is going to work. In the export, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a separate table. So the table name is country underscore export under test scoop schema. Let's see the tables here. So now we have another table called country export. Check whether is there any data exists. So there is nothing. So what I'm going to do is, as we are very clear about, so the data in HDFS in this directory is one record, and this is one another split. It has two records. So what I'm going to do is from HDFS to RDBMS, I'm going to export the data. Let's see how it is going to work. So the export, connect the MySQL database with same schema and username and the password. Then the table is, this is the table we created, export export, and under this test scope, and let's give for split one. Okay, and then so in the part M00001, so we have only one record. So let's run this. If this command is executed and successfully, we can able to see the data in the country export, because currently we don't have any data. So what exactly is happening when we are doing an export? First, as I mentioned, it will do the two steps. One is it introspects the database and to gather the metadata information, and then it will be submitted to the Hadoop storage. I mean that scoop is submitted and it will generate the different splits, because it is supposed to be fetched from the Hadoop distributed storage, and then it is going to load it into the RDBMS. And what is the benefit here? One is high throughput and resource utilization, minimum resource utilization, so that it will be very efficient. And see this. So the job submitted here, the number of splits is 4. And it just started, map is 0%, reducer is 0%. And let's see here. So far there is no data, and still it is trying to executing. And the job submitter and map is 100%, and it is 0%. So exported one record. And let's check the data here. So now we can able to see, as we are very clear about. So this is the Hadoop record in this particular split we are exporting. So in that we have this data. So this is the data where we exported to this table. Okay.